Good morning from the AT. This is day 74. Day 73 was a 0 day, and it was a great 0 day. I hung out in Allentown. My friend KP was so gracious as to let me stay and crash for 2 nights. And yesterday, checked out a couple breweries in the evening. So it was very nice. Got some good food. And yeah, we're back at it today. Today's game plan, I was just dropped off by KP at Blue Mountain Drive, where I left off 2 days ago. And the game plan is to make it, I think it's 25-ish miles to AT mile 1290. There's a shelter. I think it's the Kirkridge shelter is the name of it. So that's where I'm going to try to push to. It's a little after 8:30, so somewhat later start, but it's going to be a beautiful day. And it looks like I'm going to start with a nice little rock scramble. So I'll turn this around, let you see this. I just came up on this little guy in the trail, so I'm gonna skirt around and carry on. It's just after 10:30 a.m. and I've done almost 6 miles on the morning. I was hiking a little bit with a father-daughter combo from Maine, Hunger Pain and Glam Girl, and we had just been talking about how many snakes we had seen on trail, and I had broke off from them, and it wasn't 5 minutes later that I saw that previous snake in the middle of the trail. So it was just fitting we were having that conversation at that moment in time about it, and my senses were a little aware, more heightened than usual. But yeah, it's been a beautiful morning. I think a little over 9 miles out of Wind Gap, so we'll hit that at some point. And yeah, hope this sunshine continues today. I'm gonna go down here to this shelter and take a little break. All right, this here is the Leroy Smith shelter. And I'm just gonna pop a squat and take a break for about 15 minutes and then come on back the same way I came in. All right, I'm back on the trail. Took about 20 minutes there at the shelter to dry my feet off or air my socks out. And currently 4.5 miles from Wind Gap and another 13 from the Kirkridge shelter where I plan to stay this evening. I saw another through hiker I hadn't seen in a long time, since Marion, Virginia, and her name is Woods. So I'm seeing a few other northbounders. It's almost like it's a mini bubble here in a way. So it's nice to know that there are other Nobos right around here making some miles. And then Bighorn, I've heard word he's right behind me, about 4 miles. So be good to link up with him again. So I'll check in a little bit. Thanks to the power lines, we had a nice little opening. This is the view basically directly to the north of us. It's a beautiful day. That's a little view facing north as well. I'm less than a mile from going down into Wind Gap now. I'm just coming down into Wind Gap right now. The road up top, I'm gonna have to do some research on what that is. But coming out of the woods, I'm kind of questioning, like, how in the world am I gonna cross that? Well, I'm not. I'm gonna cross under it. Just did a little water refill from the spring. I definitely filtered it, coming right out of those rocks. But this was the first water source in about 20 miles. Shout out to a lady who runs a hostel and also drops a bunch of water caches along the way. She goes by the name of Mary Poppins. So thank you for laying out water. I used it once today to refill and then just refilled here. So I think I've drank about 3 liters of water on the day, got another liter filled up, and then the shelter this evening has, from what I understand, a seasonal spigot. So everything on far out saying that it's flowing right now. So we'll use that for this evening's water when we get there. But I'm about 2.8 miles out and it is just after 4:30. So I'll get in at a reasonable time this evening. Looking forward to that, and a little ways left. I've just come up on what's I think is known as Wolf Rocks. And so pretty decent views out here. Let's get up here. Oh yeah, got a little overcast, but I think maybe the clouds are gonna get out of here. Tomorrow, about a 50% chance of rain. So we'll see what that's all about. But yeah, about 2.5 miles out from camp now. Just coming down into Route 191, and I'm about half a mile away from the shelter, so I'll close out momentarily. All right, overall, I think we did just about 25 miles on the day. It's right after 5:30, so I'll be there in 15 minutes. Be about a 9-hour, 15-minute day. I knew that it was going to be rocky, and it was not extremely difficult in terms of elevation gains and losses, but this was a really good day. Great temp. It was like 64 degrees today, and then it was sunny early, overcast late. Yeah, it was a good day. So I'm gonna get after it tomorrow. Some big things tomorrow. I'll hit the Delaware Water Gap pretty early on in the morning. May have some trail magic there. And then I'll shortly after that, hit mile 1300. So that's pretty cool. Then it'll be 900 miles to Katahdin. So this is Rabbit, and I'm hopping off.